In Indian culture, various rituals are prescribed to elevate human life. One of them is the ritual of Shrad, which is performed after death to ensure the departed soul's spiritual progress and well-being. Children, through the act of Shrad, the sentiment is expressed that our ancestors or Pitragans who were once member of our family and have now passed away will have a better next life. The significance of Shrad ritual is described in several Puranas and scriptures. In the Garuda Puran 10.57.59, it is written, performing Shrad ritual at the appropriate time ensures that no one in the family remains unhappy. By worshipping the ancestors, Pitra, a person obtains longevity, sons, fame, heaven, glory, nourishment, strength, prosperity, beauty, livestock, happiness, and wealth. Therefore, one should definitely perform Shrad rituals. Those who do not perform these rituals do not ensure the spiritual progress of their ancestors, and they have to endure great suffering in their own lives. In today's story, you will learn how faith, determination, and spiritual power of Saint Eknath Maharaj had a profound impact on the Shrad ceremony, where the ancestors became manifest. This was the same Eknath Maharaj who, from a young age, displayed exceptional intelligence and through the grace of his Guru, Sri Janardhan Swami, acquired knowledge of scriptures, such as the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the Purans in a short time. He was not only a prolific poet but also a philosopher and a great social reformer. In honor of Sant Eknath, India issued a postage stamp in 2003. Once Saint Eknath Maharaj was performing a Shrad ceremony at his place. They were preparing delicious dishes like kheer, puri, and sweet. Some beggars passed by their home and were enticed by the delightful aroma. They started discussing amongst themselves, "Today is the Shrad ceremony. There will be some delicious food prepared." Another beggar with a dejected expression said, "This feast will first be served to Brahmins. We'll probably end up with leftover scraps, if anything at all." Eknath Maharaj heard all this and then said to his wife Girja Bai, "We feed Brahmins heartily on many occasions, but even among these beggars, there must be the supreme Brahman. They have probably never had a proper delicious meal. So why don't we serve them first today? You can prepare another meal for the Brahmins later. There's still time." Girja Bhai replied, Yes, my dear husband, you don't hesitate." She began to think that there might be something lacking in her services, that her husband hesitated to ask her to serve Brahmins first. If an owner hesitates to have a task carried out by a servant, it indicates that there might be a lack of dedication. Just as someone can work with their own hands and feet without hesitation and with peace of mind. Similarly, if an owner starts working with his servant without any worries and with peace of mind, then understand that servant has achieved the ultimate goal of his service. Eknath Maharaj said, "All right, let's serve them first today." The couple who saw God among those beggars fed them a hearty meal. Afterward, Girja Bai resumed cooking. It was only 10 o'clock in the morning, but the news spread throughout the village. The meal that was originally prepared for Brahmins has been served to beggars, and Girja Bai is cooking again. The people began to argue and get agitated who were fractious Brahmins. They provoked the people by saying, "This is a grave insult to the Brahmins. The food prepared for Shrad was fed to such beggars who do not bathe, wear dirty clothes, have body odor, and will food be prepared for us now?" Meaning, Will they eat the liars? First they eat, then we eat. Now we will take revenge for this insult. So at that very moment, an emergency meeting of Brahmins was called. The entire village stood on one side, and it was decided that no one will go to Eknath Ji's place for the shrad ceremony. No one will go to eat food so that their ancestors will go to hell and their family too gets destroyed. 2 Brahman youths with sticks were made to stand at the door of Eknath Ji's house and did not allow any Brahman to enter. Here, Girja Bai prepared the food. Eknath Ji saw that these 2 young men with sticks were not going to let anyone come. So what should be done now? He thought for some time, and those Brahmins who did not want to come to his house, their father, grandfather and great-grandfather etc., who had died within 1 or 2 generations. Eknath Ji Maharaj used his willpower and power of yoga and appealed to them. All of them appeared, and they asked Eknath Ji Maharaj, "What is your order for us?" Eknath Ji spoke respectfully. "Sit down, Brahman Dev. You all are Brahmins of this village. Please accept my request to have food at my place today." That line of ancestors of Brahmins of the village sat down to eat happily. Eknath Ji's courtyard echoed with the verses sung on hand, washing, achman, etc. The 2 Brahmins who were standing outside with sticks were startled after hearing the sound. He thought, "We did not allow any Brahman to go inside." Then they looked inside through the crack of the door and were stunned. There was a long line of Brahmins inside. The food was being eaten, and when they looked carefully, they realized, "Hey, what is this? This is my grandfather. He is my maternal grandfather. He is his great-grandfather." Both of them quickly ran to inform the Brahmins of the village and said, "Our and your father, grandfather, great-grandfather, maternal grandfather, uncle, etc. have all come here from the ancestral world. Everyone is getting food in the shrad ritual in the courtyard of Eknath Ji." Hearing this, everyone in the village was shocked and came running to Eknath Ji's house. By then, all the ancestors were leaving after completing their meal. Eknath Ji was bidding farewell to them. All the Brahmins of the village were extremely shocked. They all felt very ashamed about their decision. At last, the Brahmins of the village folded their hands humbly in front of Eknath Ji and said, "Maharaj, we did not recognize you. Please forgive us." Thus, after mutual decision, an agreement was reached between the Brahmins of the village and Eknath Ji. So children, let us learn from this story that we must perform shrad rituals, and secondly, with the power of determination, we can remove the stars and planets from their place if needed. By invoking Eknath Ji, the ancestors can appear, and those ancestors can also be offered food after consecrating them in physical body.